Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about my favorite katana weapon, Camos. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So at number 10, we start off with A Leaf in the Autumn Breeze. You can get this weapon camo for free from the base game. I do have several videos already that showcase how to get this weapon camo. However, it does apply to multiple weapons, it's not just the katana. The only thing that it does not work with is going to be the harmonizer. But as you can see on my model, the katana is actually sheathed horizontally. However, when you pull it out, it does look pretty fancy. It's got this oriental theme to it, very nice. And then when you attack with the blade, it does have blue photon art colors because it is not a color variant. Now let us do a pose so that you can see the blade itself. So when we do the braver pose over here, you can see the blade is pretty fancy. It does have a red hue near the tip and then goes to black, and then there are some little decorative autumn leaves on it, which looks really pretty. Now, 9th place is the Orieridge Almati. The main reason why this is in 9th place is simply because of the sheath position. You can see that it does have a more futuristic sheath, and it is on the character's left shoulder. So it might work for your particular style, but it just doesn't really work for me because my character is more of a traditional character. You know, I like to have the sheath on my back or at my waist. Having it on the shoulder like this does look a little bit weird for my character, but nevertheless, the sheath design is absolutely awesome. However, when you hold down the weapon action, you'll notice that you're holding the blades backwards. I think this is how you're supposed to do it. That's what some people have told me. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. But nevertheless, let us look at the blade again. So we're going to do the braver pose once more. And as you can see, the nice thing about this weapon camo is the blade itself does match the color of your outfit. So depending on what your base color of your outfit is, will change the color of the blade. As you can see right now where my mouse is, you can see the entirety of the blade is blue, which matches my base color perfectly, which is very nice. Even the little plaque over here also changes color as well. So you can see that this plaque right here is also blue. That will also change depending on what color your base color is. So your base color is white, all of it will be white. If it's black, all of it will be black, so forth and so on. And the nice little attention to detail when you're using the braver pose is you can see that you only pulled out one blade, so the other blade is still sheathed over here, which looks really pretty. Now, as for the photon arts color themselves, it's also still blue because it is not a color variant. So there you go. Now, unlike Leaf in the Autumn Breeze, you can actually purchase this from the player market. As you can see right here, check player market. It's currently going for 2 million on ship 2, which is not too bad for such a high quality weapon camo. Next up, we have the Divine Blade Ame no Murakumo. You can earn this from the base game as well. I do believe you do need a complete part of the story, like chapter 4 or chapter 5 of the story, in order to get the tokens to get this weapon camo. But nevertheless, this weapon camo does look really awesome. It is one of the more bigger katanas. As you can see, it does sit on your character's back and it does stick out quite a bit. The handle's really big. It's less of a katana and more of those like katana greatsword looking things. But as you can see over here, when you pull down the weapon action, you know, the katana is gigantic. As for the photon arts, it's exactly the same, nothing too special here. But now let's take a look at the braver pose. The blade is very beautiful. The only thing about this blade is it's incredibly big. So if your character design is more on the petite side, it might look a little bit weird, but nevertheless, this katana does look very fancy. Now, as I said earlier, this katana is not tradable in the personal shop. The only way to get this is from the base game, so you do need to play the base game, but the nice thing is you do get this for free for just completing the story. So if you do want this weapon camo, just download the base game, complete the entirety of the story, all 6 chapters, and then you will get all the tokens needed in order to get this weapon camo. Now in 7th place is the Curio Ame no Murakumo. This is the exact same as the regular Murakumo, however it is a color variant, thus we have the Curio in front of it. Now this weapon looks identical when it is sheathed. As you can see on your back, it looks exactly the same. When you're holding down the weapon action, it's exactly the same as well. The only difference is when you are attacking, you can see your photon arts are now red instead of blue, which is really nice. Now when we do the braver pose, in order to see the blade, you can see the blade is exactly the same as well. It is red, which is very nice. So personally, I rank this higher than the regular one simply because it is a color variant, and the color variant of the photon arts does match the color of the blade. It just has more continuity there, and that's why this is 7th place. Next up in 6th place is Liberation. This is also a weapon camo from the base game. I don't believe you earned this. I believe you did have to buy this off the player shop in the base game, as it was an AC scratch. Unfortunately, we have not seen the Liberation come back into NGS yet in the past 2.5 years, so that's why it's still not tradable in the personal shop. However, if you do log back into the base game, I do believe you can purchase Liberation. Now, the reason why the Liberation is so nice is because of the unsheathing animation. As you can see right here, your blade glows and has this really sinister aura around it. It always has this when you are in combat and when you're actually using the blade. So as you can see over here, when you're attacking, you get this like crazy aura around it. Now, don't be deceived by the range. The range of your attacks are still exactly the same as a normal katana, even though there's this like gigantic laser beam after effect. It doesn't actually increase the range of your katana. Now, as you can see, the photon art's color is still blue, but because of this blade and this sinister effect being so big, you know, a lot of people might mistake it for being black. However, the nice thing about this is going to be, of course, the animation. When you do the braver pose, you can see it constantly glows black and you get that crazy sinister aura around the entire time, which is really, really awesome. And that is why Liberation is on 6th place. Now in 5th place, we have the Bix Sanjiko. This is a tradable skin, so if we look over here at the player market, wow, okay, it's still going for a lot of money. It's incredibly expensive. But the nice thing about this weapon camo is, again, the blade itself will adapt to your base color as well as this ribbon piece over here. So in my case, since my base color is blue, you can see the sheath itself is blue as well as the ribbon is blue, and even the hilt, the little diamonds in the hilt are also blue, which is very, very nice attention to detail. Now, when you do hold down the weapon action, you can see that it does bind both of the blades together, and then when you do your photon arts, you do have regular blue effects because it is not a color variant. But now let us do the braver pose, and you can see that the blade isn't anything special. You know, it does not have any special colors or anything. It's just very standard steel colored blade, so nothing too crazy. Now do keep in mind that you do pull out the top blade over here, the white colored sheath, and not the blue blade over here. In order to pull out the bottom blue blade over here, I do believe you need to use soaring blades, as that is a dual wielding class. Only that weapon camo will actually pull out both blades. Now in 4th place is the Divine Blade Qrostriz. Personally, I just call this the Divine Blade because it's easier to pronounce, but this weapon camo, even though it says here that it is not tradable in the personal shop, this is because my variation is the base game one. However, you can get the exact same one in game right now. As you can see, there's a bunch of them for 2 million on ship 2. This is one of my favorite weapon camos, even though I did place it on 4th place because of the unsheathing animation. So remember, with the Flugel Guard, whenever you did a photon blast, you got the golden wings. With this weapon camo, every time you unsheath, you get these blue wings. So let me show you that again. You unsheath, boom, you get blue wings. And when you sheath the weapon, you also get these blue wings as well. So because of that, I rank this really high because I really like those blue wings. Now this weapon does look a little bit like an Excalibur and less like a katana, but nevertheless, it is really nice to see that very fancy animation whenever you're sheathing and unsheathing. And if you're in a party, your party members also see those wings, so they might be like, yo, what the heck is that? It's like a blue version of your Flugel Guard Photon Blast, which looks really, really nice. Now when we do the braver pose, you can see the blade over here. It is, you know, more European, definitely gives me Excalibur vibes for sure. But nevertheless, this is a very, very nice blade. Now do keep in mind that the Divine Blade does work on katana, swords, as well as dual sabers. So if you are a hunter, for example, that uses a sword, you can use the Divine Blade as well. So, you know, that's just something that you can consider, because this weapon camo does look really, really nice. Now in 3rd place, we have the Orierim Almati. This is very similar to the other one where it was on your shoulder. However, as you can see, this time it's on your waist like a proper katana or like a regular blade. But on top of that, you can also see there are a lot more ribbons or ropes on your katana over here this time, which is also very, very stylish in my personal opinion. Now when we do the braver pose, in order to inspect the blade itself, you'll notice over here that you do pull out the white blade and not the blue blade, and the design of the edge of this blade is all in white, and only the inner part is colored in blue, which is pretty nice. But personally, I would have wished that we pulled out the top blade. I feel like the top blade fits my color scheme a little bit better, or my design a little bit better. But nevertheless, this is still a very, very stylish weapon camo. As we can see over here, the photon arts are still blue because, again, it is not a color variant. And this is what it looks like when you are just holding the weapon. It also looks super, super stylish. Now, in second place is, of course, the Yuniwa no Hitofuri. This is a weapon camo that I've used a lot. As you can see over here, it is dual blades. It also adjusts to your outfit's color scheme. So as you can see, my hilt is all blue because my color scheme is blue. So when we look at Emiko's Hitofuri, you'll see that her hilt is actually pink, simply because her outfit is pink. And thus the weapon camo's color scheme will also change to pink, which is really nice. Now, as for the photon arts, you can see it is still blue because it is a, not a color variant. Now let us do the braver pose. And again, over here, you'll notice that the blade does change to a blue color because I am currently using a blue color scheme. However, it will adapt to whatever color scheme you're using. So when we look at Emiko's blade over here, it is a purple blade. I'm not entirely sure why it's purple and not bright pink. I'm assuming Emiko probably has something on her that is purple, which is why it's changing the color of the blade to purple. But as you can see on mine, since my base color is blue, the blade itself is also blue. It does take a darker shade. As you can see over here, my blue is like a baby blue over here, while the blade itself kind of takes like a much darker shade of blue. It's the same with Emiko's as well, actually. You can see her outfit is pink, but the blade is kind of, I don't really know if this is a darker pink or if this is just straight up purple. Yeah, the blade does adapt a little bit like that. Now, the Yuniwa was released in NGS, so you can purchase this in, oh my days, it's 10 million? Wow. Okay, this is really, really expensive, but it is second place for me because it does look really nice. Now, I bought this for a lot cheaper. I bought this back when it was like 3 mil maybe. So the prices have gone up significantly. It's wow. These are crazy prices. So I don't really recommend buying them. And now we finally come to the first place, and that is still the Lacerating Sakura. This is still by far my favorite katana weapon camo, simply because the way you sheath it is on your back. It's very clean. You got this gigantic ribbon looking thing, which looks super, super cool as well. You've got the Sakura design on this. Even the blade itself has all of these Sakura designs on it, which looks really good. They're all in gold, and the blade color itself does change based off your outfit color, which is also really nice. So I'm just going to show it for this skin particularly because it does change quite a lot. So we're going to go to our looks over here, and let's change to our 2022 look, which is a very dark purple, and you can see how the blade changes. So now we go here, and now we can do our braver pose again. And now you can see the blade is now a dark purple, which looks really, really nice. As we can see right here, as the light reflects off the blade, it is very, very pretty. So I really like this weapon camo simply because of how customizable it is. You can really change how the blade looks, which is really nice. Now, unfortunately, the photon arts color is still blue because, again, it is not a color variant. Now, one of the big advantages of the Lacerating Sakura is this weapon camo has been around for quite some time. It came out like 2 years ago. So when we go over here to check market prices, there are a lot more affordable versus the Hitofuri, which was like, what, that was like 13, 18 million or something. This one is around like 5 million. It is going up in price because it's been a while since this came back in a scratch, which is why those prices are slowly climbing back up. But back in the day, I was seeing these go for 10 million. Before the Hitofuri came out, this was a very, very popular blade. In my personal opinion, I like this blade more than the Hitofuri, simply because of the attention to detail on the blade itself, and the sheath and everything just looks really, really pretty. As you can see over here, Emiko also equipped their Lacerating Sakura, and you can see the design differences. Just because our outfit colors are different, you can see that her hilt is pink and mine is blue, and it looks super different from the back as well, just from a simple color change, which is super, super nice, and that's why I'm a big fan of this weapon camo. But at the end of the day, this is all just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite weapon camo. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.